for example. It's complex treatment with complex technique. You can propose surgery, but you can see that the risk is very high in terms of mortality, in terms of neurological complication. Now we have endovascular procedure, but also what is important to know that with this endovascular procedure, the complication rate is very high. Mortality between 9 to 12%, neurological complication 5 to 11, that means spinal cord ischemia, embolics, branch occlusion, and when you place a branch graft, fenestrated graft, in all series published data now, you have quite a lot of branch occlusion, renal impairment also. You have also a hybrid technique, and if you compare endovascular procedure and surgery, you can see we have almost the same complication rate, same mortality rate at 1 year, and what is important, the spinal cord ischemia rate, which is high. And also recently published by Guillou and Hollande 1 year ago, also after placement of fenestrated grafts, you can see a lot of embolic mortality, spinal cord ischemia also 11%. So I think it's difficult to accept, and I don't think that's maybe the future. And last publication also last year, maybe not a large series, but look at this complication rate, 62%. Is it acceptable? I don't think so. So, difficult technique learning, you need a learning curve, experience center, so that's the reason we've used the new stent, the multi-layer stent. This multi-layer stent is a non-cover stent, self-expandable stent, and we can make a stent between 2 millimeter to 50 millimeter in diameter. So you can treat any aneurysm in the body, and we have different lengths. So for small stent, we use 18 wire, for larger stent, 35 wire. And you can place this stent by different approach ways, femoral, most of the time, retrograde or antegrade, contralateral, even brachial. How does it work? The key principle, we reduce the vortex velocity, we laminate the flow in the collateral, we accelerate the flow, and we reduce the shear stress at the aneurysm neck. So we have a physiological exclusion, and what is the most important, all the branches remain patent, so we can cover any branch. In a circular aneurysm without the collateral branch, you see that you have vortex in one direction. When you without a stent, you can see that you have a stress on the neck, which induces enlargement of this aneurysm at this part, and the flow is this direction. When you place a multi-layer stent, the stent removes the stress from the neck, and you have a progressive thrombosis of this aneurysm, and you invert the flow. The stent inverts the flow, breakdowns, and modulates the velocity. So it's, you could say, in computer. But in fact, we saw that in human, and with Professor Benjeloun, who is in this room, we did the case in Morocco, maybe 1 year ago, a patient with dissection and this aneurysm. I don't want to show you this dissection, but this patient is still alive 1 year later, and he's doing well. So we treated this aneurysm, large aneurysm, and you can see that without stent, you see the flow in one direction. When we place the stent, we invert the flow. So we prove in human that what we have seen in vitro. And 3 weeks later, you can see that the iliac aneurysm is totally thrombosed, almost, and at 1 year follow-up, patient is doing well, and this aneurysm is totally cured. In a circular aneurysm with a collateral branch, so you have a progressive, you perfuse you accelerate the flow in the branch, and you have a progressive shrinkage of this aneurysm, but the branch remains patent. In aortic aneurysm, you have two pressures. The systemic pressure, which is the blood flow here in red. This pressure is not the damaging pressure, but you have the local pressure of the vortex. It's a small pressure, 50 Pascal, 0.4 millimeter mercury. This pressure is the damaging pressure, and you see the vortex, and that's the cause of the rupture of this aneurysm. So, when you replace a multilayer flow modulator, you eliminate the damaging flow vortex pressure, you laminate and redirect its flow along the wall, and you direct and increase the flow in the branch. So the branch remains patent. When you increase the flow, you have the flow which is laminated. So you totally eliminate the vortices. And you have a progressive thrombosis of this part without branch, and a progressive shrinkage of this part, and this branch which remains patent. With finite element analysis, what is important, we can calculate the pressure, the stress, and you see the pressure in a patient with an aneurysm, pressure here calculated, here. When we place a multilayer stent, you have immediate pressure and stress reduction by at least 55%. And you know exactly where is the risk of rupture. And you can see that with the multilayer stent, you eliminate this risk of rupture. When you follow also the patient, when you place this multilayer flow modulator, it is important to follow the patient with the calculation of the volume. And in the recent literature, it was demonstrated that volume measurements are more consistent than diameter measurement. So you calculate the volume. And in this study, comparing the multilayer flow modulator and stent graft, you can see that you have the same evolution multilayer stent graft. So the volume is slightly increased during the first 3 months, like here with the stent graft, and after that you have decrease in the volume, like with stent graft. So you decrease the volume. What are the effects on the collateral? Dr. Dietrich did this study in US, and he placed different multilayer stent in front of different arteries. You can say at 6 months follow-up in pig, all these branches remain patent. So we did the first human study more than 4 years ago, and up to now, more than 3,000 patients are treated. First step was peripheral visceral aneurysm treatment. And I did the first human implantation in Greece in 2006, that makes 6 years ago. You can see this patient, elderly patient with triple vessel coronary disease, large aneurysm. I implanted a multilayer stent here, covering all this inferior branch. And you can see that at 1 year follow-up and 30 months follow-up at CT scan, all the branches remain patent, and the aneurysm is cured, stent well patent. And unfortunately, this patient died from a cancer, and we had the necropsia. And you can see that more than 3 years, this stent is well patent, and all the branches are patent with an organized and stable thrombus. I did also the case in a woman with a solitary kidney. She lost the right kidney due to a cancer, and I implanted this multilayer stent, and 10 minutes later, this aneurysm was totally thrombosed. So successful deployment in all these cases. We can treat also popliteal aneurysm. This popliteal aneurysm was treated also 6 years ago, at the same time with the renal aneurysm. you can see that 1 day later, it's almost totally thrombosed. 1 year later, it's totally thrombosed. Very efficient procedure. With Professor Benjeloun also, we did the case, and a patient with 2 aneurysm, and also we had a very good result. I did the case in live in Brazil 1 month ago, a very long popliteal aneurysm, and I implanted 3 stents, and straight away you have a very good result, and this aneurysm was totally thrombosed 10 minutes later. So also this mesenteric aneurysm, also very quickly you have an excellent result, and this aneurysm is totally thrombosed. You can see that this stent is very flexible, and by femoral approach you can treat this kind of patient. And 1 year later, you see this mesenteric artery is well patent, and all the branches are well patent. Iliac aneurysm, also we can treat that. You see here, totally cured. And this iliac aneurysm, I implanted in front of this internal iliac artery a long stent, and also this stent remained patent, and this internal iliac artery is patent. Professor Benjeloun will show you this case just to tell you that when you have iliac aneurysm plus aortic aneurysm, we can treat with this kind of stent, but you will see that later. Subclavian aneurysm also we can treat, and it was interesting because the vertebral artery came from this aneurysm, and I placed a stent just in front of that, and you can see that this vertebral aneurysm remained patent, and this aneurysm is totally thrombosed. So I want to tell you that we have some limitation in very tortuous artery. This patient was proposed for a multi-layer stent. I refused because maybe we can treat the first aneurysm, but not this one. So it's not possible to treat all this aneurysm. Surgery is better. Maybe for this kind of large neck, maybe you can treat this aneurysm like that. And I did a case in India last year with Samir Dani, and I think the patient is doing well, and maybe we can treat that. Second step is aortic aneurysm, and maybe aortic ulceration like that. But here, Professor Benjeloun will speak, and Dr. Dietrich will speak also on that. And we just a case I did in Spain, a patient treated for AAA 4 years before, and he developed a large thoracic aneurysm, you see here, and we implanted 2 stents, and 1 year ago. So you can see that at 1 year follow-up, a remarkable reduction of this aneurysm, and all the branches remain patent. And I know that 1 year later, we have a follow-up. I don't have the slide, excuse me, but I know that this aneurysm is totally thrombosed now. So you see, 1 month later, a very large reduction of this part. This Greek study, I collaborated with Professor Polidoro to do this study, and you can see that we treated 22 high-risk patients with no death, no neurological complication. All side branches were patent, and with a progressive shrinkage and thrombosis. Professor Benjeloun will speak on this study. But what is important, if you want good result, you must respect important technical point, meticulous technique. This stent is not focused to treat previously ruptured aneurysm. It's a contraindication. That's the reason Tom Larson had 2 cases, 2 deaths. It's not also for the treatment of mycotic aneurysm. It's important to avoid embolic type 1. It's important to have a good proximal and distal landing zone, which must be healthy, and you implant the stent in healthy landing zone, like here. But if you do that, you will have an embolic, and sure, the result will be bad. And also, if you have to place with an adequate overlapping of 2 stents, at least by 2-3 centimeters, and you have to place the big one into the small one, like in this case, and also Professor Benjeloun will develop this case. But don't do that. If you do that, you will have a very bad result. The same here. And also, Professor Larsson did the case with a bad result because he had a large endoleak. If you do that, impossible to have a good result. So, also, what is important, the overlapping. Just to finish, this case I did in Slovenia, large aneurysm. You see, I implanted 2 stents, and I was very happy. This aneurysm was almost totally thrombosed. But, excuse me, also, excuse me. Yes. But 1 month later, you see this aneurysm. Yes. 1 month later, you see both stents slipped apart and partially in the aneurysm sac. So it is important to have an overlap of at least 2-3 centimeters. So what I did with the SOS catheter, I recross these 2 stents and place another 3rd stent to have a good result. And at 3 months follow-up, you see that this aneurysm is totally thrombosed with a good result. So pay attention to that. And also, it is important to treat any branch stenosis before covering with a multi-layer stent, and also 1 month double antiaggregant therapy. It's very important. So to conclude, this stent represents an alternative to current device to treat thoracoabdominal aneurysm and AAA. We have CE mark now. It's the most important. It preserves the collateral, it improves their flow. We have a progressive sac thrombosis and shrinkage depending on the importance of collateral. Preliminary clinical results are satisfactory and promising. We have very low complication, and if you compare with fenestrated graft or branch graft, it's lower. But we need great experience, maybe larger follow-up, but respect guideline, severe hard endpoint, and this multi-layer, I think, it's a breakthrough and maybe the stent of the future. Thank you for your attention.
Maybe we can have a discussion after the 3 talks.
Okay.
Because it's the same topic.
Okay, you plan to have it that way. Is it because we have one more evening dinner symposium coming up after this?
So it's finished?
Yeah, we could move on to each topic followed by a short discussion and then
okay.
So if
so,
Dr. Henry would like to
what is the next step of the evolution of the stent in terms of trial, indication, and diffusion of the technique? What do you think? Michel.
Difficult to know exactly the next step. We may have maybe some problem of maybe the stent is a little bit too rigid to cross the aorta sometimes. So sometimes we may have some problem, but in general we can place in aorta without large difficulty. Maybe to cover with some product to polish, maybe nanotechnology, maybe some advancement in this kind of step. But the technical problems are solved because we know that we can place 2, 3, 4 stents. We have the same hemodynamic problem. We don't compromise the artery, you cover, even if you place 2, 3 stents in front of renal artery.
By the way, what is the introducing size?
18 French for thoracoabdominal aneurysm, but for peripheral 8 French. It's placed in 8 French guiding catheter.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we'll move on to the next presentation. Thank you, Dr. Henry. May I